All right.
I forgot the word. Spraying bullshit, whatever the cause, but the translation's been lost.
I'm really bad at playing without a pick.
Yeah, apologies for the fact that there was no pick. I could only find one when I went upstairs.
I feel like there's definitely another one in this room that I'm just too lazy to
Probably, but I've been biting my nails a lot lately, and I'm trying to become conscious of that and stop doing that.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons being because I have to play with a pick all the time, and I don't have the option to not. I would always rather play with a pick. We're translation lost, and we watch foreign language movies with no subtitles and we discuss them. We have not said that at the start of an episode in a very long time.
Yeah, quite a few episodes.
And I've been conscious of it like all evening. I've been trying to remind myself to just mention that off the top.
I'm glad you did, because I wasn't thinking about it at all.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is neither of us are neither of us are prone to.
No,
because neither of us are
just
in any way really professional at all.
No, we're winging it.
Yeah.
We're still just a couple of crazy kids on a big adventure.
Oh yeah. Earlier this evening, you were like, "Yo, whose bullshit is it this week?" And I was like, "Shit, I don't know." And then I was like, "Oh no, it's yours," because last week I had some really bad bullshit. That we was not easy to talk about, and then you were like, "Oh fuck," and then we didn't discuss it any further. You weren't like, do you have any ideas, or do you have something in your back pocket? We were just like, bollocks. So we're gonna see how that goes later.
Yeah,
on
now
in
I'm
the
thinking
show.
we really probably should have discussed it.
The thing is as well, ladies and gentlemen, is it's late here. It's later than usual for us.
It's 10.
It's 10, man, which is nuts. But when you've got a free house and you're a couple of party animals.
We had to order a pizza.
Yeah, pizza
we ordered
and garlic bread.
bread.
And you and Ali got jalapeno poppers.
Yes, yeah.
That garlic bread was insane. It was so good.
Pizza was really good too.
Yeah,
it was like crispy and nice.
Yeah, because when we opened it first, I was like, no, this looks almost a little burnt. This cheese looks like too well done, but it was fantastic.
No, it was real crispy and greasy.
Yeah, which
greasy.
is what you really want.
I've had so many carbs today and yesterday.
Yeah, well, immediately before we started, I was left sitting here. I started tuning the mandolin, and you left to make yourself a rum and coke, and I was left playing the mandolin for probably like 10 to 15 minutes just on my own in this room. And when you finally returned after I called your name, I was like, "Brian, what's the hold up? I want to get podcasts." And you were like, "Yeah, I just took a pretty rough shit."
Yeah.
So and I saw the look in your eye as I began to tell this long-winded story that ended with you were taking a shit, and I just proceeded, and you didn't stop me either. I respect
it
you
happened.
for.
There's a story. Yesterday, the night before, me and Ali were watching Shark Tank. You know the show Shark Tank?
Yeah.
It's like Dragon's Den. It's on Netflix, so we've just been watching it in the background while we're doing other stuff because it's fun.
Right.
Kind of.
Okay.
And one of these products that someone brought in were called, it was Brazilian cheese bread, which is a thing that's like a Brazilian cuisine where you basically bake cheese into bread, and the dough in the bread is, the white of the bread is all like mozzarella-y and cheesy and like gooey. And I ate. You make them. I made like little cheese balls, cheese bread balls, and I ate so many of them. I had them for my breakfast today as well.
Yeah, well, you see, the thing is about that, you sent a picture of them to the group chat, and I told you this earlier on, but that picture looked like a picture from a cookbook, if memory serves. Now, I left my glasses in Dublin, so don't get too big ahead.
Yeah.
But they did look fantastic, but apparently you paid the price. And I'd say the pizza and shit didn't help either.
Definitely not.
Yeah,
all that grease and.
Yeah, and you
then I
drank
a
coffee
and
immediately
smoked
before.
a cigarette.
Yeah. Not I'm not about that life, man.
Now I'm sitting on the floor on a cushion. This is where my life is. I'm on the floor in my own house.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, because man, to be honest, we had an incredibly tedious setup this evening. The most tedious as of yet, because we're back in the room that I spent way too long talking about last week.
Yeah.
Considering no one was going to see it. But you've moved it around. I'm not going to talk about how you moved it around because, like I said, I talked about it way too much last week. But as a result of it being moved around,
I did way too much moving around to talk about it. I'm sick of moving. I'm sick of it.
But it looks good. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But and Finn helped. Well done to Finn.
Thank you, Finn.
After walking here from
From
Tullow,
Tullow, yeah.
which is like far away
About
for
12
people
12K?
going on. Yeah, about 12K.
12K.
Yeah. So at night wearing a high vis vest.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in the process of the move, it seems that the mixer got fucked with or whatever. But understandably.
Yeah, I think it's okay now. We fixed it to the best of our abilities.
Yeah. No, it seems to be gone. I think you could come a little closer to the mic. Either that, or I could go a little further away. But I'm not going to.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stay where I am. I feel like, is this very loud or?
No,
that's good.
that's good. That's good.
Live sound
That's
check.
good. Yeah. That's how we roll here. You see, I can see the computer and you can't. 'Cause
Yeah,
you're sitting
yeah.
on the floor
I know
facing
that-
away from it, and you are the one who knows something about this shit.
That really fucks with my anxiety as well. Where I'm like, the recording could just be dead.
Well, no, it's okay because I'm just going to be really, really rude and keep flickering away from eye
Yeah,
contact with
yeah.
you and just check because I'm also like quite concerned about that being a thing.
But I feel
at
like-
all times, always.
How likely is Dara to just not say anything, just to fuck with me?
Just be like, well, I'm really enjoying this conversation, you know? No, I'm not that guy. Not even nearly that guy.
So Dara, how was your week?
Yeah, it was pretty good, man. Actually, well, no, you know, look, it was. Yeah, look,
It was a week.
it was a week, you know, and we all have an owl week every now and then, don't we? But it was pretty good. I got to see some people in Dublin, got to hang out with some people, got to do some stuff. Went out in Maynooth the other night,
Yeah.
which was interesting. Went out. I've gone out quite a bit recently, which is mad because I've talked on this podcast about how I don't.
Yeah.
I don't
How you don't like going out.
No,
and-
but I've been having a good time out. I've been having a good time with the lads and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's been cool. It's cool that I'm enjoying that for once in my life. I'm enjoying a lot of things at the moment that I didn't used to. I'm enjoying like semi healthy foods. I would say.
Yeah.
Like I could still do a little better, but like I'm having like porridge in the morning with like banana chopped in. I may have talked about this last week. I'm a broken
I was
record.
doing that too.
Yeah. But and I'm having like I'm microwaving shit that I've brought in fucking Tupperware.
Oh,
for
yeah,
lunch and
nice,
stuff.
nice.
Yeah. They've added 3 microwaves to like a very very public spot that I walk through all the time in UCD, and I couldn't be more fucking delighted.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
There was all this shit going on last year about like this woman who was in charge of. She was like the student union head or whatever, and she made this call to. I don't know if I talked to you about this, but she made this call. Basically, there were these leaflets, and they said like that they told you how to get an abortion in England. And apparently it's illegal to have shit like that printed, right?
Yeah.
And so there was loads of controversy because she made the call without consulting anyone to have them all reprinted without that, and it cost like $8,000 or something, right?
Yeah.
And when I found this out, and look, I'm not going to even talk about how I felt about it because I don't really care, and that's the point. Is that all of this stuff? There's like quite a lot of like student politics, like like student union stuff that goes on in UCD, and I feel like in a lot of ways that's kind of maybe preparation for like the real world and engaging with real politics and stuff.
Bureaucracy.
And it doesn't say much about me that I couldn't give less of a fuck about all of that bullshit. I'm just delighted that they gave me a microwave.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't expecting a microwave, and I didn't ask for one in any way. But one day I was just walking by, and I was like, you know where I can microwave this? And she was like, right here. I was like, oh my fucking god, it's amazing. So that's how easy I'm gonna be in life as a member of society.
Just go with the flow.
I'm just gonna go with the flow,
Every
and
now and
I'm
again.
gonna appreciate the microwave that turns up every now and
again. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
good.
How was your week, Brian?
My week was busy.
Yeah.
As we talked about earlier, we did a big move here, and Finn came up for a while. That was cool, hanging out and stuff. Apart from that, it's been a pretty quiet week.
Housing Finn is good crack, isn't it?
Oh yeah, hanging
Yeah.
out. It was pretty dope.
Yeah, it's a good time. You came up to my house last week.
Yeah, last
which
week.
is an incredibly rare occurrence. Finn came up as well. But yeah, that's something that doesn't really happen. So that was dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked to a Christian.
Oh,
Got
yeah,
enlightened.
Yeah.
We had a good time. I don't know if I'm not going to go into the whole thing, the whole story. It's a good story, but I don't think there's time or place for it. But
No.
I would just like to broadcast to our whatever listenership that we have, which is probably not much. But I would like to just announce to them in case they don't know, like I didn't, that you can just talk to a Christian on the internet. I don't know why I didn't know.
Yeah.
Of course you can. You can do anything on the
You
internet.
can talk
but
to a librarian
we
too.
talk to a librarian. We did that as well. 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
It's 7 days a
Just
week.
whatever's on your mind.
Whatever's on your mind, man. Yeah. Fucking Ryan helped us out with some shit. Very friendly Christian man.
Yeah. Actually, it ended up being quite a pleasant conversation.
It did actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be fair, he was a very good sport. But yeah, so yeah, we had a good time. That was cool. I'm glad that you got to come up.
Yeah. So
yeah. Oh,
nothing productive happened this week, and this was the week where I was like, gonna do some productive work, and then just forgot because of actual real life things.
Yeah, I'm starting to realize that every week of my life is that week. Is the week that I told myself I would. Everything is being pushed forward a week all the time. Forever.
Yeah.
Except for the stuff that is like incredibly vital, and I'll deal with that as it comes. But it's been working so far, kind of.
I have a project that I started in November. That's still getting
just looming closer and closer.
That's just a little bit of sizzle.
But you see, you're smart in that you started in November. That's the way to do it.
I got a lot of the work done in November. It's just finishing it is going to take a while.
That's genius, though. That's the way to do it. I'm always at every point in my life, I'm in the process of becoming that type of person. I feel like I'm closer now than I have been a lot of the time. But that being said, at any point that you would ask me that, I would have been closer to being that person than I was before. So hopefully one day I will be a
chasing
functioning
the dragon, man. You're never gonna catch it.
Chasing that dragon that is a fulfilled and productive
that's
me.
heroin.
It's heroin. Yeah, gear.
Whoops.
Gear.
Whoops.
That's right, gear. Yeah.
Not chasing that dragon. No.
I told you this earlier on. When I was in work today, 2 junkies came in.
Yeah, you were talking about this.
Yeah,
I wanted to hear this story.
Yeah, I had to kick them out because they came in and one of them was just smoking a fag, walking into this vape shop smoking a fag, while his girlfriend or whoever, or his wife or whatever, was like, "Oh,
it's a cigarette for any internationalists."
Yeah, it's a cigarette.
We still call them. We always. It's just.
Yeah, because it's instinctive. No one.
Everyone calls them fags.
That's 3 syllables, man.
Sometimes
that's 2 syllables too many.
Sometimes I'll say I'm going out for a cigarette.
A cigarette. Sometimes I'll go fancy and be like a fine tobacco cigarette, but obviously I wouldn't anymore because I don't smoke cigarettes anymore.
Yeah. That's him vaping because he thinks he's so fucking.
I really like seeing the sound wave.
The sound wave.
My cloud of my rip. That is in a sound wave. That is my lack of shame. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So these 2 junkies.
Yeah.
They came in. And this one is like, one of them walks in first, the girl, and she's like, first of all, I work the company I work for is called Hale, right? So all of the liquids that we produce say Hale on them.
Yes.
But then they're called something else, like Superior is like a Benson and Hedges, and yada yada yada. But not this one. That's from a foreign company because this is the good shit. I
immediately proved you wrong.
This is the fancy shit.
All the Hale stuff has.
All the standard Hale stuff. The gourmet Hale stuff doesn't. But this is not interesting.
Off topic. Yeah.
Yeah. What's it called? So they all say Hale, right? But your one comes in and she's like, "Oh, you throw us out a bottle of the old Hale there." I'm like, do you have a $5? And she's like, "No, man." I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm not doing that." And she's like, "I'll be into you on Monday." I'm like, "No, I can't do that." And then she's like, she turns around and starts calling this fella who I hadn't seen, and there's a big window, so I didn't see this guy, so he was like hiding around the corner almost. And she's like calls him in, and he just pokes his head around, and he's just got a fag in his mouth, and he just walks into my shop, and I'm just like, "Get out." And she's like, will you throw us out? I'm like, "Get out." And she's like, "Do you have the mouthpiece bit?" I'm like, "Get out of my shop." And then she's like, but I have to walk around the corner and start around the counter, start kind of like hurting,
shimmying,
just
like a sheepdog.
Come on now, out you pop. Not the place for that. Anywhere indoors in Ireland is not the place for that. Definitely not an electric cigarette shop.
Oh, that's hilarious! I just got that.
You would be surprised how many people. And then I was there, and I was just.
Can you even vape in the
shop?
Oh
yeah, you can vape.
Because I know in a lot of places they won't let you vape.
Yeah, well, no, technically speaking, well, look, I've been told this, but I don't really feel like testing it. But I've been told that you can just vape in the shopping center that I work in. in the
Yeah,
busy
yeah.
shopping center when you're just walking around inside. That feels like obnoxious with a vape that makes as much vapor as mine. So I never do it. But obviously I was in the quieter shop today with the junkies. But sure, it was But you'd honestly be surprised how many the people who think that come into the shop thinking that we will have either lighters, or matches, or nail varnish, because they see the boxes with all the colors.
Yes.
And they're like, "Is this a nail place?" I'm like, "No, it's not." I don't know why everyone
is from Dublin.
is from Dublin.
Yeah.
It's because I'm from Dublin.
Yeah.
But I can also do it. Well, I sometimes when I slip into a Carlo accent when I'm speaking to my grandparents in particular.
Are they from Carlo?
They are.
Yeah.
But I could not do one to save my life. I couldn't intentionally do it. I just recognize
it's been so long since I did like a proper Carlo accent, man.
Yeah, but you see, you're one of those people I know who's just got a trace of it, kind of sprinkled into their speech.
Yeah,
you know?
I speak very
like Evan is like a very well spoken guy, but he's got quite a Carlo edge to his tone, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, you and him are similar in the sense that it's like it's present, but it's not like overbearing. Do you know what I mean? Devin would probably have the like thickest Carlo accent of anyone I know. Yeah.
I don't know. This is very boring.
It is very
about
boring.
Carlo
Yeah,
accents.
very talking about Carlo
Carlo accents, boys.
Yeah.
Savage, man. Savage. Do you have any? Is this a nail place? Is it?
Oh, is this a spot for the old nail? No, get the fuck. Come on. Get out.
The go into the shop that his whole like advertising is like quit smoking, and ask them for lighters. Yeah.
I had to like vape real heavy to try and get the smell of cigarettes out of the shop, because I was like, I don't want people walking in here and thinking that I smell of cigarettes.
Yeah, that's a bad play.
That looks bad on me, you know, because like people
who
know
uses,
the guy who owns the shop.
Who uses that shop? It's people who are quitting smoking cigarettes.
Yeah,
it's a pretty bad spot for that shop to smell like cigarettes.
Exactly.
Like that just kind of sucks.
Yeah, that's no good. No good at all. Yeah.
So we're about 17 minutes in.
Oh shit! That flew.
Let's maybe talk about the movie for a bit.
Yeah. Well then.
It's very late, so we might not be as long as it usually is.
Yeah.
Because it is quite late, but we have a few things to talk about. Oh, he's opening an energy drink. What is that?
It's Red Thunder.
This episode's sponsored by Red Thunder.
Red Thunder, Aldi's finest. Not the diet Red Thunder. Don't want any of your diet bullshit, Austin. Yeah, I'm drinking my Red Thunder with a straw because I've got awful teeth.
Oh yeah, that's got to be bad for the teeth. I have not drank. Oh, I had a Lucasade last week.
Does Lucasade really count though? I know it gives
so
you
sugary.
I know it, but it's. I think
that
there's
was like
a
the
difference
first
between
sugary drink I drank like since before Christmas.
Ah, well then.
And it just made my stomach hurt.
I think there's a difference between like sugary and caffeine, because like sugar you crash on way faster. But energy drinks in particular, because we were talking about this earlier, I don't drink coffee. I don't drink tea either anymore.
Your biggest downfall.
Oh yeah, coffee. Definitely. Yeah. It's not like it's not the lack of an appetite, or you know the laziness or anything like that. It's definitely the fact that I don't drink coffee.
Yeah.
No, but
that's what it is.
I'm quite. Maybe it's because I'm so skinny as well, but I'm quite susceptible to
energy drinks.
To caffeine.
Caffeine.
It has quite an effect on me. Like I get wired. Now, to be fair, I would typically drink one of these cans quite quickly, but it's a small can. And that's just like on a night out, of those, trying to stay up or like keep up, you know, with people who are actually drinking alcohol.
Yeah, it's good to have a few energy drinks just to stay in your. So you don't just be like, I could just sleep now. I'm not going to get any more fucked up. I'm just going to sleep.
Because any night that I ever go out ever is like, man, I go up at like a reasonable real person time today, you know.
Yeah.
When people are partying until like 7 a.m., I'm like, man, I got up like 2 hours from now. You know, I would go up at 9 yesterday.
Even when we hang out, like after the podcast, you're usually like, I'm gone.
Yeah, well, I'll watch.
It's like half 1 and it's half 1 a.m.
Yeah. I will watch like a bit of YouTube or whatever, and then I'll be like, all right, off I go. And then you and Ali will just sit up and drink and watch YouTube stuff.
Yeah. Sometimes for many hours.
Yeah, till real late.
It's a bad play. I need to fix my sleeping pattern.
Yeah, and then I always come down in the morning. I come down every morning. It's not gonna. Oh shoot! Aw, I just realized
Oh.
that your parents aren't here. We
Yeah.
mentioned it briefly earlier.
Yeah.
I just realized that your mother's not gonna have a packed lunch for me when I go downstairs tomorrow.
That is
It's heartbreaking.
that is the funniest shit I've ever heard.
I've come to.
She only told me about that like the other day.
Oh yeah.
She was like, "Yeah, I pack him a packed lunch," and I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, man, she makes me two Nutella sandwiches, and she throws me like whatever she's
Oh.
got there. If it's like a Kit Kat or if it's one of those Nutella Bueno things. Yeah, and more often than not, it ends up being like my breakfast, and it's always amazing.
You know who
Every now
doesn't?
and
You know who
then,
doesn't get a
home-
packed lunch when he goes somewhere?
Who?
Me.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Brian. When the fuck do you go anywhere? You get your lunch delivered
Oh.
right to you.
Actually,
right
I
to
can
you.
usually cook my own lunch.
Oh well,
Yeah, I'm
just grown
because
up.
I'm very good at cooking.
Just
Just want to say, me and Finn, we were talking last week about, or I insulted Finn's cooking on the
Yes, you
show
did.
a couple of weeks ago.
Yes, you did.
When Finn was out here, we combined forces, and he fried up some potatoes, and we did a steak dinner,
Nice.
and it was the best. It was one of the best dinners I've ever had. It was
Oh wow.
incredible. It was
Yeah, no, I've had a lot of Finn food. I've been around you when you were cooking a lot, but
Yeah.
not very recently, and it's only really recently that I've started trying to venture out a little bit and try more stuff. So that's something that needs to happen is I would like to cook with you. I would like to cook with all of my friends and just learn how to cook. I've already talked about this on the podcast, but again,
I also
broken
want to
record.
cook with everyone. I love cooking so much.
Cooking,
I like wake up in the morning. The first thing I do is cook like breakfast, 2 boiled eggs, and
Yeah, see,
some bacon or something.
I wish I enjoyed cooking. Sometimes I enjoy cooking, but like sometimes it just feels like a burden. Like, cause
I like to put on a podcast and
yeah, see,
do
that's
while
what
I'm
I was
doing
listening
that.
to a podcast last time. But you see, last Monday I was cooking, and I had already had dinner, but I was cooking a shit ton of chicken curry because I wanted to last me the next like 2 days, like lunch and dinner. So I cooked a load of it, enough to fill like 2 decently sized lunch boxes, and then I just finished it, and I had that sense of achievement, and then I just put it in the fridge, and I was like, you know, and I was like, I am hungry, but I'm not hungry enough for that, and I'm hungry for like a snack now, because it was like late at night, you know, so I was not in the mood for like tucking into a chicken curry, like my stomach
Yeah.
was not prepared for that.
we're about 23 minutes in now.
We still haven't talked
Maybe we
about
should
Ghost
talk
in the
about
Shell.
Ghost in the Shell,
yeah.
2017.
Yeah, the live action one.
So-
ScarJo.
We got the Blu-ray,
Yeah.
which has
For reals.
yeah, we actually got the Blu-ray
Yeah.
for real, which has the Japanese dub, which means the whole movie is dubbed in Japanese. You can watch it without subtitles, and it's the original voice cast
Yeah.
from Ghost in the Shell, the
Which
animation.
you speculated on last week that you thought it might be, and yes, it is, and that is so dope. And it was
Yeah.
it was apparent.
yeah,
was
yeah, you
apparent.
could tell it was
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, because they're good. And I said this last week because you were like, "Oh, I probably wouldn't even notice it was different," but I was like, "No, I think I would because they are good, and they yeah, it was great.
yeah, it was the dub was very very good.
Yeah, yeah, very enjoyable. What? Okay, so you got info, didn't you? Or you just looked up a couple things?
I looked up
You
a
looked
couple
up,
things.
did you not? Well, during the film, you looked up 1 or 2 things. You looked up that it was the same voice actor.
Voice actor. That's all I looked
Oh,
up.
and you confirmed that the music was not done by the same guy.
Yeah.
That's the other thing you did. Sorry.
I don't like everyone knows this movie. It was
Yeah.
released in
Okay. So,
2017.
well, what do we really even have to say to introduce this? Okay. So this is that controversial film that was controversial because Scarlett Johansson is playing Major Kusanagi.
It was directed by Rupert Sanders, who I don't know
Yeah.
what else he's done.
Sounds super Asian though, am I right? Rupert Sanders. Yeah.
Just like Scarlett
Just
Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson. Yeah, so it was, you know, we all know it was controversial or whatever. We decided to watch. I hadn't seen it in English. I presume you didn't either.
No.
Yeah, so yeah, it didn't seem like you had. So we decided to watch that. Essentially, you came up with the idea.
Well, we wanted to watch the original and then watch the newer one.
Yeah,
and see
yeah.
visually how they stack up.
Yeah, well, we were thinking it'd be cool to kind of try and do things in like pairs or try and connect things in some way in moving forward in future. That'd be a cool thing to do or something. Just
We'll see.
yeah.
This is just a once-off fun like thing that I thought of.
okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
We're
what
probably going
happens.
to do some standalone movies again.
Yeah.
Just to.
Okay, that's fair.
As a break.
Like as has been established multiple times in this podcast, I have no interest or influence in the films. Well, I have interest in that. I want them to be good.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, yeah. No. as I think of ideas, I will try them out because
Yeah,
that's what we do.
Yeah, that's how it's been going so far. So I suppose the thing about this film is it's impossible for us to watch it having just watched the other. Like it would like. Well, okay. Let me rephrase that. Right, I'll begin again.
It was very possible for us to watch it.
Yeah, but no,
just did.
I was going. Oh, never mind what I was going to say.
Oh,
Here's what I. Okay.
okay.
This is a little bit tricky to say. It was very convenient that we had just seen. That. It's actually very easy to say. It was very convenient that we'd just seen the other one last week.
Yeah,
because
or the week before.
or the week before, because a lot of it is quite impressively like done shot for shot, like
shot
remade.
for shot. Yeah, there's some shots that are just lifted straight from the anime.
Yeah, which is
in
funny
this.
when you consider the controversy surrounding getting Scarlett Johansson to
Yeah,
play your
yeah.
Major Kusanagi. So, but it like visually, a lot of the stuff is like really like it was weird looking at it, having it so fresh in my memory, because it was just like, oh yeah, there's exactly the shot that I remember, and I didn't even remember that I remembered it as well as I do until I've seen it right now recreated in front of me with people.
A thing that I thought they did really well was bringing all of the visuals from the anime, updating them to be relevant to us now in 2017, while still
But
keeping
2018
or 2018. Well,
but
it was
2017 to them.
while still keeping the same cyberpunk aesthetic of the original, kind of still there. You know what I
it was
mean?
cool. It was cool in that it was still kind of dirty and it was still grimy.
Yeah, it's cyberpunk.
Yeah,
like,
but it was it was that Hollywood dirty and grimy, you know, like in Ghost in the one we watched last week, the 1995 one. It was dirty and grimy.
1999, I think.
Oh really?
I could be wrong.
Whatever. We knew last week. That's what's important.
Yeah, it's on the title.
Yeah, it was dirty and grimy, and the dirty grimy parts of the city were all like dark and grey and black, whereas this one is like that Hollywood dark and grimy, where it's like kind of light, like dark blue kind of like.
Yeah.
But it worked. The aesthetic really worked, because with the holograms and everything over the buildings, it was literally as if it was just like, here's this dark, fucking desolate, destroyed skyscraper that stood there for God knows how many years, and here's like that the future is literally pasted over it. It's just here's a hologram to future it up a bit.
Here's an advertisement
exactly
like that's 1,500 feet high.
Yeah, why are we going to? Why would we renovate this ridiculously huge building? Because then we'd have to renovate them all.
Yeah,
and they're so big. What we can just paint them over with the future and make it look vibrant, you know. And I thought that was a cool aesthetic. It's a cool aesthetic in the original, but I thought it worked really well in live action. Cause sometimes I don't know, I think shit like that is kind of like, either it's not different enough from now, or it's like okay, now you're trying a bit too hard or something, you know.
No, I think visually they both stack up really well, but like, all right, I'm gonna get fucking crucified for this, but I think I enjoyed the movie more visually than the anime.
Okay.
In some respects.
Interesting.
In some respects. Some scenes I thought really stood out.
Okay.
And the use of color and things was really cool in some of the scenes.
That's interesting. I would disagree with you. I definitely think that visually I enjoyed the other one more, but that being said, I think with this one, and this was a point I was going to bring up anyway, is that this one, because we talked last time in the last episode about how I had no idea what was going on, no idea whatsoever, and this is just the exact same story, but I knew what was going on. I knew who was who. I knew what the character dynamics were. I didn't know like, you know, the exact specifics of everything.
Yeah.
But I understood the relationships through context.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? And so I was able to follow this film as a film, whereas the other one I was literally just enjoying it on a visual level. I was just looking at it being like, because in the other one as well, the colors were a lot more, I think, vibrant. Do you know? Whereas this one did tend to stick more to the dirty and the gritty. Like even the holographic projections at times were like just like darker shades of red and stuff, whereas the other one was just neon explosion constantly and like sun setting and all this beautiful scenery and.
Maybe it might even just be because we watched the last one on DVD and this one in Blu-ray. I don't know if that's. But for whatever reason, we were watching it and I was just blown away.
No,
by
that's
the
fair.
visuals.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I think that's interesting, though. I think,
I went into it in that kind of mindset as well.
Yeah, well, visually speaking, this one it is very, very good, very impressive in its own way. I would say the other one is more impressive for me personally because it's all hand drawn and because it like there are shots in the other one that are just like. It feels as though I'm standing in a gallery just looking at a piece of art. Do you know? Like
that's fair. Yeah,
I'm just looking at something beautiful. And a lot of the time it felt like just shot after shot of just incredibly stunning artwork. Do you know? And that was and that's why it was so easy for me to not follow the story at all or not get invested in it at all because I was just sailing through looking at all of this beautiful imagery and not trying even to take in what was going on.
Yeah, I think you're starting to convince me a bit.
Yeah. Well, no, I respect your opinion.
No, I think I was coming off that just being like that looked fucking cool and not really thinking about the original as much. But I definitely. Yeah, all right. The hand drawn part really kind of stuck to me.
Yeah,
stuck to me. What the fuck?
But to be fair, we did finish this film on quite a high. Which is it is unusual for us to be as excited about a film as we were finishing this, and I'm surprised as well because I had no interest in this when it came out. And I heard a lot of mixed things. I heard critically it was doing grand.
Yeah.
But I heard a lot of shit from a lot of people. But I make it could just be because visually that was all I was taking in.
The dialogue could have been stupid.
It could have been awful.
Could have been terrible, but we don't know.
Visually speaking, there were some really, really inventive and really creative and really interesting, but also some very beautiful ideas in this. Some of it was like quite visceral and it was darker and it was interesting. But then parts of it were also quite beautiful, but not. I wouldn't say. I don't think the beauty of this film ever in any way. Matched up to Ghost in the Shell, but it was never going to.
There were moments of really good cinematography in it.
There really were.
One thing that comes to mind is the bit where she's chasing your man down the ruined street and the puddles.
Oh yeah. I made you rewind to look at this.
Yeah. It's just the shots that they use there are lifted directly from the anime, and two done really well.
There's one first it shows a shot facing up, and it shows you him running above the camera, and there's a plane in the background going over him, and then it shows you from top down looking at him run, and it's quite high up, and you can see the shadow of the plane in front ahead of him.
Or the reflection on the puddle.
And then a final shot which is a puddle. And in the puddle, you see the reflection of Kusanagi standing way up on top of this pillar, looking down at him as he runs. And then suddenly his foot just splashes into the puddle and the image just distorts and it just cuts away to something. And it was incredible. It looked amazing.
Yeah.
And I think there was great use of location and stuff as well.
I think sets were dope.
More than I think this is this should really go without saying. But I'm gonna say it anyway because I'm on a fucking podcast. I've got this microphone in front of me. The city in this, because I feel like cyberpunk kind of stuff. The intention of it is to, like you said, kind of blend the dirty realism of cities with the glossiness of future.
Yeah.
The future, and in this, it felt a lot more real because it would pan down, showing you the tops of the skyscrapers with all these massive holographic advertisements on them, but then it would just continue panning down, and suddenly they would just be walking through a street that's not too different from one that we would be in, and there were little changes that were really cool, for example 3D holographic arrows on the road,
on the roads, the road
you,
markings were all holograms,
and they would kind of they would kind of flicker up and stuff, and it kind of pulse up, and I thought that was dope because that's the kind of shit that they'd be well, we can just do this now.
Yeah.
And I thought that was cool, like just little tweaks to the environment. But that being said, it still just looked like they were just walking down some alley somewhere, in the real world, which I thought was awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know, you see, the film is very good visually, like I said, in a very different way. But that being said, there were a lot of moments in it that were just real dodgy. And you see, it was always during the action set pieces, and it would be some kind of bizarre jump or some kind of bizarre flip or something, that it would look really rubbery and really fake, and then it just didn't work. And that would usually, I feel like it would be more acceptable if it wasn't for the fact that the rest of the film looked so good.
Yeah.
I feel like they poured way too much time into the aesthetic of this film to be for me to believe that the director is satisfied with those like CGI shots.
Yeah, there was one in particular where she's jumping up a collapsing thing, and also. All right, so I'm going to go on a quick little tangent here.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone actually sat down and taught Scarlett Johansson how to run.
Yeah.
Because she runs so weird in this movie.
Some people run weird, man, and then they get famous and they never knew that they run weird, and then they have to run. You haven't seen Justice League, man. I don't know why the Flash runs the way that the Flash runs. He flays. He flays his body, and I didn't notice it so much when I first saw it, and then I saw people saying stuff about it online, and then I kept seeing like 10-second shots of just him running in slow-mo, and his body is just like, he's like one of those, bang the table. He's like one of those, those things you see outside of like car dealerships in America. The things that like inflatable things are like. He's like one of those, just flaying. It's ridiculous. What are you googling? Devil Dash? Devil? Dirt Devil? I don't have my glasses on. I can't read this. Brian, you can't start googling something and not tell me what it is, but have you've moved away from the microphone, so you're leaving me here stranded. Okay, is it a GIF? Are you opening a GIF? I see some.
This is going horribly.
I'm just sinking. You're on Imgur. What are you doing? I don't understand, Brian. Okay, you're bringing up a GIF.
If you like weird runs, that's from Devilman. Crybaby.
That's from Devilman? That's what Devilman looks like?
Yeah.
This is at least the third week in a row that you've brought up Devilman, and I haven't.
I'm going to keep fucking bringing it up because it's great.
Yeah. And I know for a fact that on one of these... One of the times that you brought up Devilman, I was like, I will have watched that by next week. I still haven't watched it.
But that's how he runs.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Okay, nice.
So I'm just going to leave that running there while we talk.
But
I meant to do that. I swear.
No. Claim that you didn't. Like, step up.
Oh, never mind.
Take a step back. Right. So goes in the shell. Sorry.
You go first.
Another really, really awful special effects job, and there were two shots like this throughout the film where because obviously she's got the cloaking mode and she goes invisible or whatever, but there were two separate occasions where the one that sticks out to me is where she is like walking through a crowd of soldiers. And she like bumps them all out of the way
while turning invisible.
While becoming visible, and like you see these soldiers move out of the way, and then she starts phasing in, and like it's just so obvious that they were just some guys going, pretending to get bumped. It didn't even nearly look like she was actually touching them. And
it didn't look great.
So jarring, and we watched this because at the start of this film. Because it opens really strong with strong visuals, and it's like, fuck! Look at this city, look at this world.
All those colors,
yeah,
it's like
everything. It's all just like whoa. And you were like, oh man, imagine watching this in the cinema. But as soon as I saw that effect shot, I was like, imagine seeing that in the cinema.
Yeah. Like, and which one are you gonna remember? Because what did we talk about first?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
We
So
talked about the shitty CGI bump and not the colors.
Yeah. So I know, man. Like, yeah, so there were a couple of occasions like that. Too many for me to be.
Speaking of seeing it in the cinema, imagine seeing the light fight in the cinema.
The light fight.
The fight where it's just a strobe, like there's a strobe light.
Oh
going on.
shit! Yeah.
I think I would actually die.
Yeah,
Like,
they
I
would.
don't- I don't
they'd
even
surely
have
to
epilepsy,
some
but I
kind-
think that
they'd
would-
surely have to have some kind of warning against that.
For
wouldn't
sure, right?
Yeah.
That would
because that was intense.
yeah.
If they didn't, no, they must.
They
They
must have.
must.
They must
They
have.
must. Yeah, sure.
I hope they did.
Yeah, I bet it's one of those awful things where they just say it at the very end of the trailer or something, like in teeny
Yeah.
tiny print,
yeah.
or at the bottom of the screen or something. Like
It was cool
cons-
though.
It was cool.
dope
As
for
someone
me.
who doesn't have epilepsy,
As someone who doesn't have epilepsy, it was real fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah,
Yeah.
It was a cool techno vibe to it.
Someone who hasn't decided to get epilepsy, it was really good.
So stepping away from the visuals just for a
Yeah,
sec.
yeah.
Obviously we mentioned the fact that the voice acting was really good. But there's there was the soundtrack was dope as well.
Yeah.
In that
yeah.
it was like it was a really subtle cross between like orchestral composition and like and like synths, like light synths, and it sounded like a cinematic soundtrack because it was orchestral, but just the synths in the background were making it
Yeah.
futuristic, you know, and I thought that was really cool. It set the tone really well.
Kind of brings it back to the thing you were talking about, where it's like the old building,
yeah,
covered in future.
Yes,
you know?
exactly.
It's classic
yeah.
kind of orchestral music with synth.
Yeah, just plastered over the top of it. But I think that's a really I just think that was a cool idea in general.
Yeah, I like the soundtrack. I thought it was really good. I don't really have anything really to say about it, and it fit with the movie well, you know.
Well, like the soundtrack was good, and like we said, the voice acting was good.
Oh, the voice acting was really, really good. I would suggest if you're going to watch this movie, watch it with the Japanese dub and some subtitles.
Yeah, why the fuck not? Yeah, actually, why not? Because I think the voices...
The bad guy sounds fucking dope in Japanese. He sounds really cool.
We haven't even spoken about him at all yet, but he was really
We'll get to him when we
we'll
go back to look at the characters.
He's got his little bullet points written on. What is that written on?
It's an old how to do a CV
Oh, excellent.
leaflet that I never read. So I'm just writing my podcast
at least you're reading
notes on
something off of it now.
Yeah. It actually came in handy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Came in some use.
But yeah, you were saying about the sound.
Well, yeah, I was just saying essentially that the voice acting was good and that the
Yes,
soundtrack was good,
yeah.
and that it's very important for when you're watching a film
you're
the way
watching
that
a
we
movie,
watch
yeah.
films with these films to for both of those things to be on point. Even the voice. It was weird that
At no point. Do you know what was really weird?
What?
I expected to be more bothered by the mismatching of
I was just
the
about to say
voice
that,
and the
yeah.
mouth.
It was about they did a really good job of saying what needed to be said in the space of time that the person on screen was speaking.
Yeah.
It was very well timed. It was well cut.
Didn't even notice it.
Yeah,
throughout most of the movie.
like I said, I left my glasses in Dublin, so I couldn't even really see their lips moving perfectly. So it all looked really genuine to me. And you know what? When Scarlett Johansson just is speaking Japanese, she looks a bit Asian. You know, your mind will play tricks on you. She'll look a little Asian.
No, she does.
No,
not
she doesn't.
look
Her
Asian at
eyes
all.
are so
I had my
fucking
glasses
wide.
on.
She's got her big. Because like we were doing the ScarJo face.
The ScarJo
earlier.
face.
Yeah. And you know what?
You're
this
doing
is,
it
this
now,
isn't,
and
this is,
no one
this
can
is an
see.
audio medium,
Yeah.
but I bet at least half of the people are visualizing exactly what face I'm doing.
I definitely am, but
Yeah,
that's 'cause I
because
can
you're
see
looking
it.
directly at it.
Well, yeah, no, I think if I was listening to this, I'd know what.
Yeah, exactly,
face.
right? Yeah, no, everyone knows. We all know. So okay, so visually, no, actually, no. We'll get to that after characters. I think we should get into characters
let's
first.
talk about how the obvious. Let's transition well from Scarlett Johansson here to
into
how the characters looked.
Yeah.
Because that's something that we wanted to look at too. Batu looked really good.
He looked ridiculously good. It was insane.
I don't think we need to say anything about the Major because everything's already been said.
Yeah. That's been fucking done to death. Well, actually, what I will say in relation to her is, proportionally speaking, her and Batu worked really well.
Yeah.
They were the exact range of size that they were in the
Yeah.
cartoon, which is ridiculous because that was a fucking anime, and cartoons of any kind
And Batu
are
is so huge in
ridiculously
that anime.
proportioned. He's so ridiculously big, and this guy is so big, and it doesn't look
I'm
weird.
sure he's not really that big, though,
He
right?
couldn't be.
I feel like there was some camera trickery
yeah, there
going on.
had to be, yeah. But it looked good. It looked really
And
good.
his eye things looked good too.
Because it's the film started and he didn't have the eye thing in, and last in the other one he just has that from the start, and I was like, oh, he looks really good, and then I was like, I wish he had the eye things though.
Yeah.
And then there's an explosion, and he develops. He gets he doesn't develop. They give him the eye things.
His eyes get.
His eyes become those weird eyes.
Yeah.
If you don't know what we're talking about, you can look it up. But
Batu from Ghost in the Shell.
yeah. Batou.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looked surprisingly good. I think. And
Yeah.
It's possible that
Looked really good.
if people look it up, they might look at it and go, "What are you talking about? It doesn't look good." But in motion,
it looked
great.
fine. Yeah, it looked really good. And a lot of the like cybernetic stuff on people looked really cool.
Yeah. Well, actually, we'll get to that in a sec. But on Batu, he had a cybernetic arm. You only see you only see it in one shot.
He had
really.
a regular hand though.
Yeah. But I thought that was really cool. And that's actually, if you wouldn't mind, just straying from characters just for a second.
Yeah. No problem.
That's another thing, and I commented on this at the time that I really enjoyed was the variation on how cybernetic people were.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool because like there's one woman who worked with the Major, like updating her and doing all that bullshit for the Hanku or Hanak or whatever it's called corporation. Hanka but whatever. The evil corporation. She worked for them, and from what we could tell, maybe there was more to her than that, but from what we could tell, she just had her eyes done so that she could basically take them out and plug them into this machine that would let her see inside Major Kusanagi, and she would be able to like work on her from there. And that was so cool, and I really liked
really
the
well
idea.
done. The effect was really good.
The effect was amazing, and I like the idea that people are like, well, I'm human, and like I say, who knows, maybe in dialogue they established that she is just an android.
Yeah.
But without the dialogue, I thought it was cool being like, oh, well, maybe in this world people are just like, oh, well, I'm human, but I could do with this eye thing because, it would be good for my job, or, you know what, I just always wanted the eye thing. Some people are always like, oh, I just wanted, I've always wanted this tattoo, or I've always wanted this piercing. Imagine a world where people are like, oh, well, like, I wouldn't really want cybernetics, but I've always wanted to get, like, just this done. Do you know what I mean?
Then you see stuff as well, like Batu, when he gets his arm done, it's very sleek and normal looking, because it's funded by a large corporation that he's working for. But then you look at some of the Triad guys, and they've got, like, really rough looking...
Almost
like,
underground
robotic arms and stuff. And it's almost like cybernetics are almost like the new car.
Yeah,
there's different models.
Yeah, and it's constantly improving. There was one guy, and he wasn't like a main player, but he had like that. Remember, it was like a metallic.
He had like a jaw.
Yeah, and it was cool, and he was just like a gang member, but it was. I thought it was just really dope,
and it didn't look as cleanly attached.
Yeah,
it
looked
like
gammy,
scars
yeah. So that was something I really enjoyed. I think the world building in this in general was quite good. You got a good sense of like where you were and
what it was like to live in this world.
Yeah, exactly, and almost kind of a bit of a feel for like how we ended up there. What had taken place. Yeah, so I thought that was dope. Yeah, I really enjoyed that kind of aspect.
People have robot arms now.
Yeah, people do have robot arms now. Yeah, legit.
I love those videos. They're so cool. And like,
they're just watching them grab stuff or whatever.
It's that guy like picking up the beer bottle and moving his fingers and stuff, and it's like, cut my arm off. Let's go. I want a robot arm too.
The people like that have gone from being disabled to like level up.
Nah,
slight level up.
I don't think you can play Xbox or PlayStation. Yeah,
quite possibly. But that's a skill
probably
I already
play
don't
PC
possess.
games though, because he could probably just click a
That's
mouse.
true. Yeah,
for sure,
yeah. Just fire away. But I bet with like enough training, you could like train that arm to think and react to thought faster than. Maybe I'm just crazy. But it's
I don't know if the technology is there yet.
But it's gonna be.
I think let's not chop off our arms yet. We'll give it another like maybe 15 years. and
Yeah.
then maybe they'll have perfected it.
Yeah.
It's like eye
yeah.
surgery. You don't want to be the first person lining up for the laser
Yeah,
eye
yeah.
surgery. But now, because it's so many people have done it, you're pretty safe to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to be first in line for a robot arm, but I'll let a bunch of other people storm that beach.
You want to let the crazy people be
Yeah.
guinea pigs first. Yeah. See how
I want to make sure
they
they perfect it before I jump.
Yeah, before I let my precious body get involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the bad guy.
Yeah. So he was dope as fuck.
Coolest Sith Lord in any Star Wars movie I've ever seen.
Look at you trying to pass that off as if it's something you just thought of.
Yeah, I am.
It's something that he said during the film. And then a moment passed, and then he repeated it because he was like, "I'm proud of that. I'm gonna say it on the podcast." And now he's just said it as if it came to him. Yeah. What was cool about him, right, is that for the first like half hour to 40 minutes, he was wearing this hood, and this like long hoodie, and he looked really cool and menacing, and he was always in the shadows, and
he had those like red wires coming off him that were like pumping something into him.
Yeah, and I kept being like, I feel like it's probably going to be anticlimactic when he takes that hood off. And it just wasn't. He was so well designed. He like the majority of his body was robot, essentially. And not, it wasn't very well
He was the blonde
together.
lady from the anime, right? You know the blonde lady who gets hit by the car?
No, I think that she was like like descent or like someone, you know, the way he controlled those people,
but I think
dudes?
in this version he filled in for her because they have the similar,
quite possibly.
Well, at the end when they're lying down, talking to each other,
I'm sure it's quite possible that amidst all of the racial swap bullshit, that little gender swap got completely brushed under the table. I think it's quite possible that I missed that Doctor Strange scenario where everyone's like, "What? Oh my God! You made the fucking what's his name? Oh,
I don't know.
What's her name? Is it the Grand? I don't think it's the Grand Master.
I don't know. I haven't watched.
Tilda Swinton. She there's like an old fucking Tibetan man or whatever in the comic. But no one noticed. Well, like no one noticed. No one talked about Benedict Cumberbatch being like a white guy playing Doctor Strange.
That's true.
You know, because some people did, but. Also, Doctor Strange is white. Some people are like, he could be, Oriental, but he's not. He's white most of the time. He's just from New York or wherever.
It's all comic books.
Yeah, because the thing is, everyone's white out there. That's the reality of it. No, just out there in the world. That's what I've
every single person.
Everyone's white. Yeah, there's everyone's white, but everybody is white, but has a black friend. That's that's the way the world works.
That's.
That's the way that it's been shown to me through television and media.
Let's get back on topic of the bad guy.
Dangerous territory now.
I liked his robot body. I thought it was cool.
Awesome. It was awesome.
I liked his like glitchiness in his voice.
Yeah, that was. So
he'd be talking
cool.
and it would be and then he'd
finish what he was saying. Sorry, I'm pouring what's left of this Pepsi Max. I'm
pretty sure that was Ali's mixer.
Oh shit! I'll walk the 24-hour.
No, it's fine.
I don't know. It's fine. But this can be discussed later.
Yes.
What's it called?
No, there's Pepsi in the fridge.
Okay.
We're all good. We're fine. Crisis.
Thank God. Now all of our listeners won't be panicking anymore. Being like, is this the end of Brian and Dara? No. So your man who played the bad guy?
Yeah.
Was really, really good at moving as a robot. He moved his body so well. And not just as a robot, but as a robot that seemed to be Android. Seemed to be like a mismatch of different parts. It was almost as though he was like the leg from one android put onto the leg of another with like a bit of a torso and another half a torso, and because all the arms were kind of like almost twitching and stuff. It was very the Joker in that Batman Ninja trailer that we watched. That kind of puppet kind of, and you say that you told me that's popular in like manga and stuff like that, didn't you? That's like a style of movement or something.
There's that kind of that you see that a lot with like villains and like crazy villains and stuff in anime.
Yeah, well, he was the crazy villain, like, you know.
No, he was really good. His voice actor was great.
What's his name again? Hideo or
No.
Hideo.
The actual character's name is Hideo, I think, or Hideo, or however you say it. But when they said it, we were like, Kojima, haha.
Yeah, and then
Because we're a couple of nerds, and you were like, I don't know what that means.
No, I didn't know what it meant, but I'd heard you say that word
What's
a lot.
a PlayStation?
Come on now. Come on now. This is very off topic. Well, I'll forget otherwise, right? I got stuck. I mentioned last time that I've been playing GTA.
Yeah.
I got stuck at a bit in GTA. Not for long, granted, but where I was scoping out a jewelry shop to rob.
Yeah.
And I went in and like had to like take a picture of the camera, take a picture of the alarm system, and then take a picture of the vents.
Yeah.
And then I walk out of the shop and I start walking to my car, but because it says go to your car, and I'm like, okay. And I start walking to the car, and as I'm walking to the car, Michael's like, is that it? And Lester in the car is like, no, you have to get a shot from the roof. I think I complained about this last week, but I got stuck at that bit.
Oh, you couldn't get to the roof.
Right? It turns out, because then when he says, you have to get me a shot of the roof, I'm like, fuck. And so I turn around and I stop walking to the car. And I start walking around, looking. And then it turns out I'm just supposed to get in the car like it told me to do. And then he's like, let's drive around the corner. And then we drive around the corner and it's right there.
Yeah.
And I was stuck on that for not too long, but embarrassingly long.
You're such a video game baby.
Oh man, I swear to God.
So obvious you've only played like 2 other video games.
I was raging. I had to look it up on a video. I had to look it up on a video, which is it's bad enough that I had to look that really simple thing up on the video.
Yeah.
But even if I hadn't gotten back in the car, if I just walked around the block, I would have seen the way up.
So the villain was cool.
He was a good villain. Yeah, he was really good. He wasn't anticlimactic when he took that hood off.
And then he wasn't even a villain.
Yeah, he wasn't really that. I didn't find him very sympathetic at the end, but obviously we didn't understand any of the dialogue that was taking place between them. Again, like I said, I understood the plot a bit better with this one than I did the last. So it seemed as though he was he had been there for the accident that had taken place for
whatever
Kusanagi.
fire or something.
Yeah, like the fire or whatever that killed her originally, and then they put her brain into this thing, which apparently you didn't realize was the idea of this.
Yeah,
thing.
no, I didn't.
Yeah,
yeah.
Maybe it's not. I just that's
know.
what I've been led to believe anyway.
I'll have to rewatch the original.
Yeah.
With subtitles.
Or just English. But I would watch it.
I watch it
I
with
think at this
subtitles.
point I'm going to watch it with subtitles. I'm too attached to those voices now.
Yeah.
Anything
that's
else
dope.
would weird me out. Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, he was a dope ass villain. Who else was good in it? That old man.
Takeshi.
Yeah. Takeshi was good. Despite his fucking ridiculous hair.
His cartoon
hair.
Yeah.
You could take him seriously because he was actually a pretty hardy motherfucker in the end.
Yeah, he got that. They shot him in that car, and he was like, "Nah, I'm good."
Yeah. Do you know what was actually visually speaking a great shot? Is the very end when he, spoiler alert, shoots the fucking when he kills
the
Hideo.
No, that wasn't Hideo.
Okay, well,
Hideo was the robot.
Oh yeah, no,
dude.
Sorry. No, he shot the businessman dude.
Businessman.
Whoever the fuck the businessman dude was, the much less intimidating villain. But again, to this film's credit, at least I understood that he was the villain. Yeah, because I have no idea who was controlling the spider tank. I have no idea who was controlling the spider tank in the other one.
Yes.
Not a fucking clue. What's the guy's name?
Takeshi.
Takeshi like walks up to your man and he's like, he shoots him and he like goes down and then he gets back up and he's standing in front of this like it's almost like a coffin that's like a little river, like a little lake or a little pond. And he's standing in front of it and he's like holding his wound or whatever, and Takeshi is like, Major, I'm standing in front of whoever it is.
In this.
Yeah, he's subtitled.
He actually speaks Japanese.
Yeah, we deduced that Takeshi is speaking Japanese in
Well, I
in
didn't
the English
deduce,
version.
I knew because I'm pretty sure his English is like poor.
Yeah, well,
or
makes
something.
sense.
I could be wrong though.
Yeah, but he was like, "Oh, I'm on the phone to him," and then I'm with him, and then she says something that is presumably badass, and then he shoots. Yeah, presumably, and then he shoots him. He shoots the bad guy, and the bad guy like flies backwards and in slow mo into this pond thing, and the water just crashes over him so slowly, just absorbs his entire body till he's completely covered in all of this rippling water It looked incredible.
Yeah,
and it
really good slow mo.
A really good conclusion to the action because it was simple and it was basic.
Yeah.
It was like one guy dies in the final
but it was
big action thing,
They took one guy just getting shot, a wounded man getting put down, and made it into a spectacle.
Yeah, exactly. Made it into the climactic shot, the boom.
Yeah,
this is it.
Yeah, it was really
the
good.
end of the action. Yeah, it was awesome.
Ended very differently than the original.
Yes, it did.
We theorized that maybe they were kind of like fingers crossed for a sequel.
As Hollywood tends to be.
Yeah. They did.
But like, there's lots of Ghost in the Shell though, isn't there? It's a thing.
There's a couple of other stories, side stories and stuff, but I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong though. I'm Ghost in the Shell is not my like
forte.
Yeah,
it was because I've always been under the impression that it's like a standalone thing, but you implied earlier on that maybe
I think there's more. There's more to the story. Well, there's stuff on Netflix, like other.
Oh really?
Ghost in the Shell based things. Yeah.
Well, okay, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
But yeah. What else have we got to talk about?
We've done most of it.
I don't know. I feel like there might be some more. I guess I don't know.
There was too many hologram people in rooms.
Yeah, well, you see, there's too many for you, but I think that's just because you're thick. Because every time that there were hologram people in rooms, I would go, "Oh, they're flickering." Do you see that?
You didn't have your glasses on.
I didn't have my glasses
on.
on. Yeah, so I was like,
I had both of our glasses on.
maybe it was maybe it was because I was like in my peripheral vision, I was like, my eyesight's getting worse right here.
Yeah.
But even worse. But no, I could see that they were flickering, and I was like, yeah, these are clearly. Like they're not really there.
Yeah.
And both times you couldn't get it. You would have to have it pointed out to you. The first time it took you ages to realize.
Yeah.
That she wasn't really.
Because I kept like either blinking or looking away.
Yeah, and then it cut away. Because it was her in the cell with one of the dudes who your man had. Like, so the main bad guy, the scary bad guy, was able to like control the minds of some people. Who were also androids.
Yeah.
And he used two of those people, and they captured one, and she's in a cage with him in his like cell, and she's like talking to him, fucking Avengers style, where Scarlett Johansson's talking to Loki, very reminiscent. I thought, and she's like talking to him, and he's telling her shit, and she's flickering the whole time, and I'm like, man, she ain't there. And you're like, what? And I was like, yeah, she's not in that room. And you're like, really? And I'm like, yeah, she's flickering. And it went like, this is a long enough scene. And then towards the end, it cuts out. It shows you just right outside the cell. And you see her standing outside the cell, looking at herself in the cell, talking to him. And I'm like, oh yeah, look, she's standing right there. And you didn't reply to that, right? And then it cut back into the cell, and then it cut back out, and you were like, "Oh no, look, she's right there." Like I don't know what it is that you just you're so unobservant when it comes to some things. It amazes me what flies over your head.
I'm so observant when it comes to other things too.
Such random shit. Yeah. I thought that was gas. But so yeah, I don't know if that was you wrote that down as a point, and I let you because I was like, I'm gonna let him bring him up. I'm gonna let him bring this up, and then I'm gonna just tear him down.
Yeah.
I'll
take it on the chin. I'll keep going. It's another part of life.
The main I feel like. What do you think? Do you think we've kind of talked?
I think let's finish up.
Okay. Well, like my kind of finishing item of discussion for this film. Obviously, we've got the question of would we watch it again with subtitles or in English, because we have that option too. But I guess to me, like, I think an interesting point is, do you think this film deserved the shit that it got? Obviously, we can't 100% comment on that, having not understood it fully. But
I don't quite know what shit that it got, because I did not follow this movie very much at all, because I saw they were remaking Ghost in the Shell into a movie with Scarlett Johansson, and I was just like, nah.
See,
I don't really care. I'm not gonna even like look at this.
Yeah, we see some people I know hated it, seemingly on principle, based off of the thing, which I can understand.
Yeah.
Some people I know hated it, supposedly not based on principle, but there are other reasons for it were never made explicitly clear to me. And then other people didn't quite hate it, but were just like, this is just a fine film.
Yeah, I think I fall into that.
I think I could see why people would think that. I think that we were honestly blessed with the fact that we both watched it for the first time with this podcast, because I think it is really quite visually.
Yeah, I think
it's quite solid. It's really quite spectacular in places.
An entertaining movie to watch in Japanese with no subtitles.
It really is.
Actually, I had a good time.
No, legitimately, yeah. No, I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
If I was gonna watch it again, I think I'd keep the Japanese and just watch it with subtitles.
Yeah. That's what I would go for too. Yeah. And I think I might as well, because the last week was the first time I definitively said, yeah, I'll definitely watch this. And again, I still haven't, and I probably won't for a while. But I'd say these two I will get around to at some point, because they were both very pretty.
You seem to really like them.
Yeah,
I like them. Cyberpunk. I love Cyberpunk. So.
Well, I'm coming to accept that. Like the visual and audio is all I really have to enjoy in this podcast, and also
the original Ghost in the Shell has a good story too. Which
is helpful, and also neither of these films broke their own rules. Which is basically that's my major pet peeve, and that pet peeve that extends quite far. Like that's a broad spectrum.
Yeah.
But it's a sci-fi world, but that makes sense, and it's believable because they ground it to an extent, and I think
it's a future that I can see happening.
Yeah. And there's loads of really cool visual stuff we haven't even touched on. So I really do think that it is.
I would recommend this.
Worth checking out. No, I'd say it is. Yeah, for sure.
So that's the end of our Ghost in the Shell escapade.
Yeah. How long did we talk about that for? Was that a decent amount of time? I feel like that was a decent amount of time.
We're at an hour and 6 minutes.
There you go, man. That was a fucking decent amount of time. I felt like we were going to talk about that for a while. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I enjoyed that movie a lot too.
Yeah. So we could go into bullshit, but we ain't got no bullshit so far. Or we could go into.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to go pee.
Yeah. See, now you can't just stop like you normally would, because you're sitting on the floor away from the computer. You're powerless, so you're just gonna have to
just watch me. All right, we're back.
Seamless, absolutely seamless, perfect. I couldn't tell. Could you tell?
No, I couldn't.
No, fantastic.
I'm getting the email set up.
Yeah, so we got an email. Thanks, Barry. You fucking legend. Because as we've stated, we love getting emails. Please continue to write them.
Yeah, please. We really love getting emails. It's something to talk about.
Oh man, it's just so much great. It's always great crack.
Yeah.
What did Barry have to say?
Okay.
So this is previous correspondent of the show, friend of the show, Barry Ironic Snap Neenan.
Yeah.
I've got some stuff to talk about.
Shout out to his YouTube channel again.
I'm gonna get to that, but you continue.
All right. So he says, "Hi, it's Barry. It's a good thing y'all are actively looking for emails, because sometimes when I'm listening to podcasts, there's something I want to contribute to the conversation, and now I can. Win-win, baby."
Yeah, please always do it.
Yeah. I'm fine with a words from Barry.
Oh yeah,
we were
saying this earlier. I'm happy to dedicate, like, if Barry is down with it, which I would love it if he was. Just there being a segment at the end that's just a word from Barry.
Yeah.
And it's just whatever's on Barry's mind, or whatever Barry thought about last week, or whatever. Yeah, I'm happy to just continue talking about whatever you've got to say, man.
So he's writing in we talked about Joss Whedon last week.
We did.
And I forget mostly what we talked about.
We talked about he's a bunch of wine. Dog. Yeah,
he's a dirty dog.
He's a dirty dog.
So specifically on the subject of Joss Whedon's record on writing female characters, here's my take. As everybody knows, when he created Buffy back in the 90s, Joss invented feminism. For that, we are all truly grateful. But being crowned the king of feminism is perhaps bad for one's ego, and much like his comedy, his treatments of female characters hasn't really developed all that much. The result is content that's progressive for 1997, but kind of garbage now. That's actually really apt. That's really apt.
Yeah.
Look no further than a script for a 2005 Wonder Woman film that Joss was to write and direct. So Barry did some research.
Interesting. I've never heard of this.
This is interesting. Wonder Woman, of course, rejected at the time, but recently leaked. Wonder Woman, of course, has since gotten the only good DC movie.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Agreed.
Yeah. But the original version was considerably less good. The script describes Diana as curvaceous but taut as a drawn bow. And when yeah.
Barry, have you read this script in full? And if so, can you please send us more dynamite quotes like that?
Yeah, I'd love a best
best
weird
of
quotes.
Joss Whedon's Wonder Woman.
Joss Whedon's horrible descriptive language. And when Steve Trevor lands in the Amazonian paradise of Themyscira, the local reaction is essentially, at last, a man for all of us ladies to do a sex on. Come on, Joss, get it together.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet you that's how he feels about himself, isn't it? Arriving into the world, he's just like...
Just a little bit of a power fantasy here.
Have found the man that they've been waiting to fuck.
This is just Joss Whedon writing his hopes and dreams.
Yeah. This is Joss Whedon's journal. Made into a Wonder Woman film.
And then he goes on to we talked about Batman Kills Muslims, the Frank Miller comic.
Yes.
So he says, vaguely related, the Batman Kills Muslims Frank Miller comic Brian is thinking of is very real, called Holy Terror, and is fucking abominable. Linkara, our comic reviewer I watch, who has been critiquing awful books for over a decade, describes it as hands down the worst thing he's ever read. Although intended for Batman, it's so toxic and racist and just plain ugly that DC wouldn't let him use Batsy. Instead, it stars 100% original character, The Fixer. It's so bad, you guys. So bad. Frank Miller is worryingly insane. Have a nice night.
That's fantastic.
Thank you very much, Barry.
Thank you so much, Barry.
Excuse me. I actually looked because I read this email a few days ago because I checked the email midweek to make sure.
I definitely do not do that ever.
Yeah, you don't have the password.
No, I do. I think you sent it to me at some stage, but I don't care.
Okay.
You do. I know that you do.
I do such a good job that it's fine.
Yeah, you've got it sorted.
So I looked it up, and yeah, he's right. So a lot of people, I assume, like Frank Miller for Sin City. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah,
because I never really.
Look, Sin City, Dark Knight Returns.
Dark Knight Returns, I can see.
Yeah, he had a pretty good run on Batman in like the 90s.
Did he do Punisher?
I think he did.
I feel like he did Punisher.
Yeah. There were certain areas, so the 90s, for example,
where
being extreme was cool.
Yeah.
But then the 90s ended, and everyone realized that he's not just like an extreme guy. He's like an extreme racist. And,
he's
like,
crazy.
Yeah,
he is insane.
Yeah.
I never really liked his art in Sin City.
He's not very good at drawing. he's fine.
The high contrast just makes it. For me, it's really hard to parse what's going on in a panel.
Yeah,
a lot of the time.
He's gotten older, and he recently released.
And Holy Terror is pretty recent.
Yeah.
So it's not really great. It doesn't look good.
He recently released Batman: The Dark Knight Returns Part 3, which, by the way, is called The Master Race. Right?
Oh yeah, of course.
So of course, which he co-wrote with someone else. I can't remember who.
Hitler.
His bestie. But he did the art for it, and he's gotten older, but it's no good. It's no good.
Yeah.
It's not. Look, it's not for me. I'm sure someone likes it somewhere.
If someone has somehow stumbled across this podcast and is now frantically typing that Frank Miller is actually an amazing artist, save it,
and also stop defending absolute fucking lunatics.
Yeah,
he gives a shit, man. This guy is insane. This guy does not give a shit about you or anyone or anything. Like, probably, but by the looks of things, as far as I gather, he doesn't seem. He seems to be just one of those toxic kind of people.
He's like,
there's an in-depth analysis of someone I've never met and never will meet.
Makes me think of like Alan Moore. But if Alan Moore was unlikable.
Alan Moore just went.
But maybe I'm wrong because I don't know anything about these people.
Alan Moore is Alan Moore.
I like Alan Moore for the record.
Yeah. Alan Moore is kind of upfront about the fact that he hates everyone, but more than he hates everyone, he hates himself, and he hates everything he's ever created. And so Alan Moore went the opposite way of just like residing into a cave somewhere. He lives like in the middle of nowhere. He worships like a snake or something, like a snake god.
There was like a thing where he was like, I'm worshipping like a snake god now. It's probably all bullshit, and it's like, that's kind of why I like you. That's kind of why I like you. You're upfront.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. You're straight
Also, he
shooter,
writes
Alan Moore.
good comics.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. And
He wrote.
hates them.
He did a run of Crossed, which is one of my favorite comics.
Okay, interesting.
Don't read Crossed if you've got a weak stomach.
Oh yeah.
That is probably the most abominable,
Oh really?
like disgusting comic I've ever read.
Yeah, he
But
writes some fucked up
it's
shit.
written by Garth Ennis, like originally,
Okay.
who wrote Preacher.
Yeah.
and
Garth Ennis is
He
dope.
did a run of Punisher too.
Yeah,
He's known as like a pretty.
Yeah. He's
standout Punisher writer.
He's a good writer.
Yeah, Crossed is very good, but again,
Yeah.
lots of horrible things
I
happen.
mean, even just aside from shit like that, man, Alan Moore's has written some of the most iconic stuff
Watchmen,
ever. He was written Watchmen. He's written fucking
Killing Joke.
Killing Joke. He's written what's the one that's on the tip of my tongue? V for Vendetta.
Yeah.
Fucking and the iconically bad film League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. He wrote the comic.
He
that was
did
based
write
off
the
of.
comic for that.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
It is
That
unfortunate.
movie's the worst
but you know
movie
what?
I've ever seen.
The good thing about it is he hates everything that's ever spawned off of what he's created.
Yeah,
Anyway, so at
and
least he should.
He does
hate
it in
that.
the best way, where he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna sign the rights away and get money." Like,
He's so upfront about it. I love it.
I wrote this.
Um,
Now I'm done with it.
Yeah.
Bastardize it, but give me money. I'm not gonna watch it. I don't care. And that's
um,
that. There's something to respect there.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the subject of Barry's email, just because I don't want to forget, right?
Yeah.
First of all, the Wonder Woman thing. Yeah, I would like to. I've just since I've seen Wonder Woman, I've been waiting for a platform to express this opinion, right? And maybe I've already talked about it on this because again, I always repeat myself. But Wonder Woman, it was a good film. It was not as great as people thought. It was just that it was like long overdue, and people were so refreshed by it, and it was like taking like a long sip of water on a hot summer's day. It was just we've been waiting for this, and so people were like, this is amazing. It's a good film, you know. Let alone the whole thing with like,
Would you say it's more important than it's more an important film than a like fantastic
yes
film?
Without a doubt, yeah,
Which is
100%. And like it's an important, like it's you see, the thing is, it stood out as being like that we've been waiting for this in two ways. Because first of all, it's the first good female-led superhero film, which is astonishing. And on the other hand, as in addition to that, it's also the first good DC film. So it was. So it was.
From what I've heard, it's like leagues above.
Yeah,
the
it
rest
really
of
is
them, yeah.
Because it's a good film.
Because it's a good film.
Everything else has
Yeah.
been shit. And like the closest to it, I'd say, is Suicide Squad.
Really?
Yeah, and that's just because if you go back and watch that film now, honestly, it's just fine. It's fine. It's really poorly cut, and it's really jumpy, and some of the performance choices are really shit. Some of the dialogue's really bad, but for the most part, it's just fine. It's just like, oh, this is fine, quick and breezy. It's almost like a starter level in a video game or something. Because you go into like the first stage of a video game, because they go into the city, you're introduced to the characters, they go into the city, they fight some monsters in the city, and then they work their way up to the top of this building, and then they fight the main bad guy. And it's just like a real
it's very like a video game.
Yeah,
it's
it's like a really like one of the first kind of. It's like achieving the first boss.
That's a real
in a video game.
fighting force story.
Yeah,
that's how that game starts.
It's just exactly. It's just a.
If anyone's played that terrible old PS1 game,
Fighting Force.
Fighting Force is one of my favorite games from my childhood. Me and my cousin, 2-player, beat 'em up.
Okay.
You gotta go up a bill. It's Fighting Force. Everyone go play Fighting Force. It's the best.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
There's a guy in it. His name's Hawk.
Hawk.
His name's Hawk, and he's got sick kicks.
Oh, sweet. Okay, cool. Dope. It's mad how you remember shit like that, isn't it?
I played it recently. we found it when I found it like recently enough, and I was like, "Yes, let's go." And it's just as good as I remembered it.
Well, I find that hard to believe. So the other thing in relation to Barry's email, I would like to say, because you touched on it earlier, today in work, I ran out of data, and I was in the quiet shop, and so I couldn't watch Netflix anymore, and I was raging. I went on Facebook, and I couldn't use YouTube anymore either, which YouTube usually works when I don't have data. For some reason it didn't this time, and I was really annoyed. So I went on Facebook, and I saw Barry had shared a YouTube video he made like a couple years ago with Mark.
Yeah.
I know his surname to be Loafers, but I don't think it is his real surname. That's just his surname on Facebook.
Loafers. He's on YouTube as well.
He's on YouTube as well.
And
But he's I like him too. But he shared this video, and I was like, I wonder, would Barry's video work because
Yeah,
Facebook
yeah.
works, and it did. And not only that, but like all of Barry's videos work.
Oh, nice.
So I watched like 4 or 5 of them, and it was really funny because I was primarily watching Lion King ones, and in each of the Lion King ones, he refers to the fact that people only watch his Lion King videos, and I found it really fun. But I also watched, he's got a really good Static Shock video.
That Static Shock video is fantastic.
Man, Barry is so much better at reviewing than we are. He's so much more coherent. He's so much more better at expressing his opinion and finding like key elements and like interesting kind of like perspectives on things.
Yeah.
Like I suppose he's got dialogue, but he's also like he's a funny guy as well. And I've always known that about Barry. But like the first time I met Barry was in like a comic book shop. Like it was in remember that shop Retro? But it was just like an old vintage shop, but it also sold comic books. And I just met him, I didn't know him, and then we had a really great conversation. And I don't see Barry often at all, but every time I do, just have a great conversation.
Yeah, so that's Ironic Snap on YouTube.
Yeah, Ironic Snap, no
really
space.
Good.
Yeah, and Loafers on YouTube.
And Loafers too, he's good too.
Yeah.
You bullshit.
Yeah, so...
Thank you very much for the email, Barry.
Yeah, thank you, Barry. Thank you again. We hope to hear from you again soon.
Yeah.
So I know Sheen as well. Anyone who wants
to write in, please do. Questions or thoughts or anything.
It's always a good time for us.
If you need us to, if you need life advice.
Oh my God, we are definitely your men, without a doubt.
You're almost 22.
I'm almost 22. Yeah.
I'm almost 23.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got so much life experience.
We've got so much between us. We've got like nearly half a century.
Don't think that's how that works at all. I really don't think that's how that works.
Half a century in the same generation.
Yeah.
Let me see. Okay, so my bullshit, right? Oh, actually, hang on. That's right.
Yeah, you can't just go into the bullshit without playing the song, Dara.
Bullshit for Brian. Yeah, don't. Bullshit for Brian. Bullshit for Brian. Hair like a lion, a curly haired lion. Bullshit for Brian. Bullshit for Brian. No, I'm not lying. Time for bullshit for Brian. Okay, so what I was gonna say was that I actually it's not my turn for bullshit, but you didn't think of any.
Yeah.
And my bullshit last week did not spawn good conversation. It was really dumb. I just wanted to talk to my friend Brian about the fact that I'd been writing. So I decided that I would talk about the fact that Ireland played a rugby match today.
Yeah.
And the reason I talk about that is because I have no interest in it really.
I like rugby, but I don't watch sports. I'm bad at that.
I don't like rugby. I don't give a fuck about rugby.
That's fair.
Well, look, if I'm with my grandfather and he's watching rugby, I'll sit with him for a little while, like 10 minutes or something.
Yeah,
and I'll watch, and I won't really understand. But look, it looks difficult and it's impressive. But
those are big men.
Yeah, they're real big, man.
Really big men.
I don't give a shit. But like I think that's an interesting thing, particularly in this country, because. We're not good at much sport-wise, but we're good at rugby, man. We're really good at rugby.
We're good at hurling, man.
we're fucking, man, we are savage at
Possibly best in the world.
Unbelievable at
Possibly best in the world at Gaelic football.
Yeah. I wouldn't even be surprised if we're not anymore. But like, they love it everywhere. France, Canada, you'd be surprised. So like, I think it's interesting that we really love rugby because we are good at it, and it's one of the only sports we are good at. Golf, we've got that one guy. I think there's another thing that we've got a guy in. We've got 1 or 2 lads in like football.
Yeah, we've got a couple of guys around.
None of them are like massive, as big as like Brian O'Driscoll is. He's like a famous athlete. You know? And the reason I bring it up really is because earlier today. Earlier this morning at 11:30, 2 women came into my shop and asked me where the nearest pub that I thought might be open was. So I pointed them to Tully's, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" And then, like half an hour later, I saw 2 men walking down the road dressed as women. Two massive men, huge men, like hairy men, and I was like. Is there a massive like stag do cross with bachelorette party going on?
Yeah,
and I was like,
there's some crazy shit going on.
And then for a second, I was like, I considered, I was like, is this like rag week for middle-aged people? Has that begun now? Or is it like there's a week of Rag Week, which is like Monday to Friday, and then there's Rag Weekend, which is for the people who like work 9 to 5 during the week and they can't go to Rag Week.
Yeah,
you know, but they still like to party.
I feel like Rag Week is 7 days a week. Though.
Yeah, no, it's 5. I
it's 5?
only recently found that out. Never been to Rag Week.
No, never
in my
never.
life. But Rag Week, for anyone outside of Ireland, who I presume is no one, is like
just
I
a
don't
big
even
party
really
week.
understand what it is. They just party
It's for
hard.
charity or something.
Is it really?
No,
I don't think
know.
it is. They just they party hard, and for some reason pubs give ridiculous discounts. Alcohol is so cheap.
But
I only
everyone
found
wears
out
like
this
very
week.
little.
Everyone wears ridiculously little. Everyone rides each other. This is my
In
understanding.
February,
of it.
everyone's
In
walking around
February,
in like
man.
swimming trunks
It's
and shit in
freezing
February.
here.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
so cold.
It's actually colder. It's probably the coldest it's been.
Yeah, I'm wearing.
Any
I've been
February this
I've
February.
been
It's
wearing.
crazy.
I came here wearing like my work uniform, which is a shirt and jumper, a hoodie, a good jacket, and then a big coat, and I was still cold.
I was drinking coffee this morning
No.
that I had just poured from like the kettle, and it was like hot. And went outside for a cigarette with my morning coffee.
Yeah.
And by the time I was done smoking a cigarette, my coffee had gone cold from being outside.
Oh,
Like
despicable.
all of the cup itself was like freezing.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I was talking to someone about this
So
recently.
cold.
It was like
it's disgusting.
I was talking to an American guy or something about it, but we were talking about how like other parts of the world, they get colder than we do, but they get so cold that their bodies almost kind of adjust to it. Do you know?
Yeah.
But we seem to be right on the fucking on
It's
the
not
cusp
cold
of it.
enough
We're
for
right
us
at
to
the
like have to adapt.
Exactly. We're right at the point where it's just unbearable. It's just painfully cold.
Yeah.
Like everywhere that you go, all the time. Anyway, we're supposed to be talking about rugby.
Yeah.
I eventually realized
That's
of
Rag
course-
Week.
yeah, that's Rag Week. That's what Rag Week is. I eventually realized that that the fucking the rugby match was on, and then I later found out in the day because I was speaking to my mother that we won. Right, and this
Which is
like,
cool.
Yeah, this is the other thing I wanted to bring up, right? Which is, isn't it crazy how there's just this cultural thing in Ireland because it's one of the only sports we're good at, and because because we're a nation that even though I do not give a shit about rugby, I'm always glad when we win.
Oh yeah, dude, for sure. Any sport, I'm
Yeah.
always like, yeah, we did it.
Yeah,
You know?
but I
we had
dunno.
Conor McGregor doing his thing, like.
oh man, honestly,
But I cared about that sport.
Yeah.
and
But I
still do,
I care
so.
about that sport more than I do others, but only in the sense that like I'm not like Finn and Austin and stuff are really into.
Yeah,
I'd say
yeah.
you definitely more than me as well.
A
would
little
be
bit more than
into-
you, but
Yeah,
not,
but yeah.
I don't watch it every week.
Yeah, but my friends essentially are into like the mechanics of it,
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
fighting
they're, like,
styles and
really-
stuff and the mechanisms, and they know the names of all the different fighters. I like to watch grown, massive men punch each other in the face.
Yeah, it's a cool sport.
It's really enjoyable. But so and like I'll always remember where I was when I saw McGregor knock out fucking Aldo in 13 seconds.
Yeah.
I will always remember that. And it was a beautiful moment too. Like I was with Finn and Austin in Clinton's. We were having a great time. I think Roisin and Amanda were there as well. It was savage. It was unbelievable. Yeah.
I assume that like that's a night when like because usually here those fights happen at 5 a.m.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the thing. And
But that's the type of fight where it happens at 5 a.m. and then it's like, oh well, I guess we're just staying up all night.
yeah,
and going
yeah.
nuts.
That's
'cause,
it.
like-
As soon as it was over, we were everyone. There was just
Because you're
shock.
just so hyped.
There
Like,
was shock, and then there was just an explosion of energy, and then everyone just partied just as hard as we
Yeah,
could.
yeah.
It was insane. It was amazing. But yeah, like and with like I don't know with the like for example like with the rugby thing, right? My and any sport really. My grandfather is always watching sports in like the kitchen or whatever, and whenever I walk through. If I catch the national anthem, I will always stay and watch the national anthem, man. I will always say, and I don't, and it's embarrassing really because I speak Irish and I don't know the national anthem. But I know the last two lines, and the last two lines are dope. Well, the last line really is we have a great closing line to our
What
national
is it?
anthem. The melody, I don't know the.
I mean, I know
all
what
the
that
lyrics.
is. I know the national.
But it goes fucking.
It's not even any language. They just stand out there and go. Are you just going through the whole? He's going through the whole thing. What's that translate to?
The last line is so we sing Aran Nafian. So the song of the Finns.
Yes, song of.
So it's a song about the traveling community.
It's a good national anthem.
Or like a specific tribe in the not tribe but group. In the traveling community, but it's a.
As far as national anthems go, it's all right.
Well, I think, especially because, like I say, I stay and watch the national anthem.
Yeah.
I see a lot of other countries' national anthems. A lot of them suck. A lot of them are really shit, man. A lot of them
Terrible.
are no good. Yeah, comment below where you're from. I'll tell you if your national anthem's
Yeah,
any good.
yeah, please.
I bet it's not, man. And a lot of the time, like, there's like brass sections and stuff, but they're not quite playing in key with each other.
Yeah.
It's no good. Well, I'm sure other people are like, what the fuck? What are they? What are
It's
they
like
even
flags.
saying? Yeah.
You look at the vast majority of flags out there and you're like, wow, your flag sucks.
Our flag's no good.
Our flag's fine. We've got, look, if you want a flag, get like 3 colors and you're good.
Yeah, 3 colors and you're
you
good.
start
but
putting more stuff on there.
Why did we pick such common 3? And it's not just that the colors of our flag are common, but they're common in Europe. Like there's like Italy is like green, white, and then red.
Yeah.
And then
which is easy to confuse.
Yeah, and there's one I can't remember what it is, but it's green on the top, and then it's a stripe horizontally, not horizontally, not vertically, and then it's white, and there's a little circular thing in the middle, and then it's red on the bottom.
That's India.
That's India.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like there's So
I think.
I'm
pretty sure it's India. Yeah.
The computer's over there, so we'll never know.
The computer's far away.
Yeah. And okay, last thing I wanted to bring up on the topic of the rugby thing.
Yeah.
Is this is just a cute little thing. My grandmother is convinced and has been for probably, I haven't asked her how long, but I'd say probably at the very least 20 years, that when she watches Ireland play any sport, it's bad luck. So she'll sit in the other room and she will listen out for my grandfather's reactions.
She won't watch it?
No, she won't watch
Why?
it. Yeah, because she says she's bad luck.
Wow.
She causes them bad luck. And so she'll sit in the other room and she'll watch
insane.
something and she'll listen to him cheer or give out. And she'll occasionally send me in to ask me what the score is. And then she'll poke her head in seeing if it's half time. So she'll come in and ask how we're doing. It's ridiculous. My mother also thinks that Brendan is bad luck because whenever he walks in, apparently we immediately let the other team score, and so she flips the fuck out at him. She like really shouts at him to get the fuck out of the room.
People are nuts about
People
sport.
are superstitious about sports, man. Yeah, it's a big thing, and but it's cute. I think it's part of the like quaint,
it's cool.
dainty Ireland.
It's a very Irish thing.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
And on that very Irish thing,
On that very Irish note.
I think that's a very good place to call it a night.
Yeah, I think so.
It's quite late
Yeah,
here.
it's late, man. I'm gonna take a shower after this.
It's about to be 12.
Oh my fucking god! Are you kidding me?
Just about to hit midnight.
What? How long have we been going for? I've shied it on.
Just
for
an
a
hour
long
and a
time.
half, which is fine.
That's okay.
I'm fine with that
I
length.
can't believe it took this long to do an hour and a half of podcast.
Well, we had to watch the movie, and you got here at the same time as you always do.
But we waited for the food.
We foosted around a bit.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
But sure, such is life. I still think we cranked out a decent one.
Yeah.
We've made it now.
We're
all
here.
said
Good
and done.
email.
Good
Thanks,
email.
Barry.
Sound for that, Barry. Anyone else?
If anyone wants to email us,
Yes.
we didn't say this when we were doing
Yeah,
the emails, but
yeah.
we should have.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to email us, it's translationlostpod@gmail.com.
Yeah, that's translationlostpod@gmail.com.
That will be in the video and a link in it'll be in the
thumbnail.
description. You can
On
just
the
copy and
thumbnail.
paste it.
Yeah.
You don't even have to type it out. Twitter,
Twitter, we're at TLostPod.
which also a link to that. And
then
Facebook.
Translation Lost Podcast.
That's a link to that too.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you very much for listening, guys.
Yeah.
Onward to whatever movie is next. 'Cause
Yeah.
We're done with
Yeah,
Ghost
no
in the
idea.
Shell
So
for now.
if anyone else got any suggestions?
Yeah, if you have any
hit us up.
suggestions for movies.
A visual and audio, video
Yeah.
and audio kind of stimulation. That's what we're looking for ideally.
Yeah, that usually tends to when it's just people talking, it doesn't really.
It's hard to produce good content.
We
based off of
get
that.
because we record right after watching it. So if it's just people talking, we get kind of burnt out. And then I think it leads to a.
Because we're obviously going to be talking a lot in between that.
Yeah, we talk a lot
over it,
while
like,
we're watching the movies.
in
because
general,
we're not listening to dialogue.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's Translation Lost Podcast.
Translate. Yeah. We'll be better at this next week.